It's the amazing Rico Brogna podcast with your host, Evan Roberts.
Hey, welcome to Rico Brogna. This is a drive-home edition. This is a family edition. We've got special guests as the Mets win on opening day. My dad. Hold on. Yeah, this isn't going to work. There you go. Hey, say what's up. Hey. And then Jet. Say what's up, Jet. What's up? The New York Mets win on opening day. They defeat the Toronto Blue Jays. It was quite an adventure today. Me and my son got there in the second inning. My dad was there from the beginning, and it was a beautiful, beautiful day. The temperature was wonderful. Tylor Megill was tremendous. Pete Alonso, again, telling the Met fans who turned on him to kiss his larger derriere. And the Mets have a nice, easy, wonderful opening day victory. I would call this a traditional opening day victory because the reality about Mets opening days, and I was thinking about this last night, I can't really remember a lot of them because most of the wins are just like, yeah, they won, and you kind of forget how they did it. There's only a handful that you remember very vividly, like my dad remembers Gary Carter hitting the walk-off in 85. I remember the 1-0 win in 98. But a lot of the, like, if I just said 2012, does anybody remember? Or even 2015? I cannot tell you. And I do think that even if this is a championship season, we may not remember opening day. I get maybe the Pete home run, because that was kind of cool to see Alonso come up there to a huge ovation and go opposite field in a very similar way to the way he went deep against Devin Williams. That was tremendous. Now, I didn't get to see it inside the stadium, but I did get to experience it in a very unique way. Me and Jet did the show today, a brief Evan and Tiki program. We ran to the train, sat down in the LIRR, which I advise anybody, if you're coming from Manhattan to see a Met game, even though it does cost a few more dollars than the 7 train, 18 minutes, one stop, two stops really if you count. I guess you have to count Woodside. 2 stops, 18 minutes, and you're in Citi Field. And today was off-peak hour, so it was $5, the city ticket. $5. Beautiful. What's a subway cost even anyway these days? It's probably like $2.75 or $3.75, whatever it is. So we sit down on the LIRR and actually watch the beginning of the game. The reception was actually pretty good underground. So we saw Tylor Megill get off to a great start, 1-2-3 first inning, and watched the Alonso home run. So I did have the perspective of most people listening or viewing the Rico that it was on TV, unless you were one of the 44,000 people in the building. I didn't think for a chance it was getting out. Now, we sit behind home plate. I asked my dad off the bat, where'd you think the Alonso ball was going?
Maybe off the wall. I didn't think it was going out.
You thought it was going to the wall, though?
Yeah.
Really? You know why I think my perspective and anyone watching it was different? It almost felt like a half swing. I know it wasn't, but it wasn't like a full swing by Pete. And somehow, maybe because of the power of Pete Alonso, maybe the balls are juiced. Who knows? I think it's still too early to tell. And by the way, if they're juiced, whatever. Pete Alonso had his best year in a juiced year, 2019. Maybe it was the wind. Who the hell knows? That carried it. But I was actually pretty surprised it got out. But how awesome was that? That was a tremendous moment for Pete Alonso. He's back as a Met. He got a huge ovation during the introductions, even though some of you creeps out there cheered Vladimir Guerrero Jr., which quite frankly I think is embarrassing. I mean, cheering a visiting player is bad enough. Cheering a visiting player that you want to sign as a free agent, okay. Cheering a visiting player that you want to sign as a free agent that is replacing, because he would replace, don't give me this crap, they'd have both, that is replacing Pete Alonso, who you just gave or you're going to give a huge ovation to. I mean, what are we doing? That actually annoyed me, and it was funny because we're in the studio and we're on the air during the introductions, and I could kind of tell on TV that people were cheering, and that's when I asked my dad who was there, and you can confirm it was like, how many people were cheering Vlad?
It was he got a bigger ovation than a lot of Met players.
He got a bigger ovation than a lot of Met players?
Yes.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. By the way, I am we are sitting in the parking lot getting out. This is one of the negatives of when the Mets are a good team and they sell out. It takes forever to get out. But I accept that trade-off. It's like the lines to pee. You don't love the lines to pee, but wouldn't you rather have 40,000 people because the Mets are good versus 11,000 people and they suck, but hey, it doesn't take very long to pee. So we are working our way out of the Citi Field parking lot after the Mets shut out the Toronto Blue Jays on opening day. Now, as far as the introductions were concerned, Pete then did get a huge ovation, and you're telling me Pete got a bigger hand than Juan Soto slightly?
The consensus among all the people in the area was Pete slightly more.
Slightly more. How about that? I like that. I mean, it is a little hypocritical that they're also cheering Vlad. Before, yes, that is Mike Breen. My dad just noticed Mike Breen. Should we try to get him on the Rico? No, don't do that. What if we open the window and I just scream Knicks? No, don't do that. Don't do that. What did you want me to say to him?
Hey, Mike.
He's a big Met fan, Mike Breen. That is true. I was about. Oh, you know who? Look who's walking. You know who we just spotted? Scott Boras. Scott Boras is walking through the parking lot right now. Look to your left, Dad, right past this white car. I think it is Scott Boras.
We can't run him over?
We cannot run him. I tell you this, after Pete's home run and his great start, Scott's thinking to himself, "Oh, I'm gonna take advantage of David Stearns this time." So we're doing a lot of celebrity sighting as we get out of the parking lot here on this very special drive home Rico Brogna. The New York Mets now are above 500 for the first time this season. But yeah, Pete got a huge hand. Obviously, Soto gets a monster ovation, and I'm happy that Juan, at least had a moment in this game as the Mets were breaking the game open against the Toronto bullpen when he hit that RBI double and then Brandon Nimmo hit the RBI double. I actually got a lot of joy out of them intentionally walking Pete Alonso. Obviously, it made a lot of sense baseball-wise. They had gone to that left-hander, Flaherty, or however the heck you pronounce it, Mason Flaherty. And once Soto gets the double and there's a base open, of course, it makes sense you're going to walk Pete to get to Brandon Nimmo. But I liked the respect. I liked seeing Major League Baseball basically say, we can't let Pete Alonso beat us. And, for all the talk, and there was a lot of it, and there still will be, it's not going to go away, about protecting Juan Soto, there may soon be a discussion about protecting Pete Alonso. And, we did an off-season, Rico, in which I painstakingly went through all the different people that have protected Pete Alonso over the years, which is a part of why I liked the idea of hitting him second and giving Juan Soto a chance to protect him. Obviously, that's not going to happen here in the early going, but, if Pete continues to hit, and he is off to a wonderful start, hitting another home run, all of them have been clutch, by the way, we're going to start to wonder if teams are going to pitch around him. And getting back to that home run, because we do play that game here on the Rico of was that a clutch home run or not. We did that last year with all of his home runs. Obviously, the first one, grand slam, already up 2-1 in the fifth inning, pretty clutch. The game-tying home run the other day, no-brainer clutch, one of the more clutch home runs you'll see. And here, I put this up there as clutch. I know we had a lot of those last year. We ended up seeing that Pete hit a lot of first-inning home runs. But it's opening day. The crowd is loud. The crowd is pumped up. The crowd is jacked up. You're facing a very good pitcher in Kevin Gausman. And to take advantage early and have Pete jump all over him and hit a 2-run home run, I would argue that is 3 for 3 when it comes to Pete Alonso clutch home runs. Now, got to give a lot of credit to Francisco Lindor, who got on base 3 times in this game. I think that's a very positive sign. He had the base hit that started the game that got overturned. Remember, he tried to stretch a single into a double. Initially, they called him out. You see the replay, which we did in the train, not even questions. No question, Andres Jimenez did not get that glove on Francisco Lindor before he did the little swim move to get into second base. So Lindor set the tone in this game with the base hit, even though Juan Soto didn't do much in his first at-bat at Citi Field. Are they directing traffic up? Yes, he is. He put his hand up and said stop. Thank you very much. Hold on one second. This is actually a brief moment where I lose my train of thought because getting out of the tiny parking lot can be somewhat of a challenge. But what was I saying? Do you remember what I was saying, Dad? So you're not paying attention?
I'm concentrating on the car.
Oh, yeah.
Inches away from you.
No, you're right. Just to make sure we don't get hit. Lindor got on base 3 times. And even though Juan Soto didn't come through at his first Citi Field at-bat, then we get the Pete Alonso home run. But on base 3 times for Lindor. Even Vientos. I got to give Mark Vientos a little bit of credit. Made some nifty defensive plays at third base, number 1. So he played some pretty good defense. And also, in his first 2 at-bats, he was ripping line drives. His first 2 at-bats, he hit hard hit balls both times. He ended up, I think it was popping up or grounding out in his third at-bat. But you look for little things with Vientos because mentally he did look out of it at the end of that road trip. So he made good plays defensively. I'd guess off the top of my head 3 or 4 plays over at third base. and then obviously had some quality at-bats. So good job by Mark Vientos. Brandon Nimmo comes through with the RBI double. And so even though Kevin Gausman settled down after the Pete two-run home run, the Met offense is able to tack on late. And how about the job by everybody who pitched for this team? We start with Tylor Megill. A brilliant performance by Big Ty. By the way, I have to bring this up because I have gotten out of the parking lot, and it really does look like these chop shops are all gone. Across the street from Lot G, or the bullpen gate, which we're passing by right now, they've cleared everything out. Now, I don't know what they're building over here specifically. I did just see a picture of the soccer stadium. I don't think the soccer stadium is right here, but they've cleared a lot out. Now, there are chop shops once you go up, past the entrance of that bullpen gate. There's like 5 of them. There's a few muffler shops, so don't worry if you're looking for a new muffler. You can still do that. So there are still a few stores that are around, but, man, they've cleaned this place out a lot. Anyhow, back to Ty. Tylor Megill was excellent in this game. I thought Mendy was utterly brilliant with his managing in terms of handling this bullpen. I thought when Megill issues the back-to-back walk, still in a 2-0 game, he's absolutely spot on to get him out. So I think he got him out at the exact right time. Reed Garrett, so far, this has been good Reed Garrett. He has been excellent. Gets the back-to-back strikeouts to get through the rest of that 6th inning. A.J. Minter was a little bit shaky, but here's the thing. By the time Minter comes in, it's 5-0. Reed Garrett was really the guy that got the most important outs when he came on, 2 on, 1 out after Tylor Megill issued the back-to-back walks. Even gets around the wild pitch that Garrett threw. He gets the back-to-back strikeouts. I think he threw the splitter on both of them. He looked fantastic. The Met bullpen continues to be very, very good. Continues to be outstanding. Reed Garrett, A.J. Minter, even though A.J. Minter almost gave up a 2-run home run. I mean, that ball, though it wasn't. How are you? Oh, you want me to go this way? All right, thank you. A police officer came up to me and told me to go around these cars. At first I thought he wanted to come on the Rico. I was like, all right, if you have an opinion. Yeah, my trick getting out of Citi Field is that instead of getting right on the highway, I'll reveal the trick. I mean, whatever. I make a right on Northern Boulevard because I take the Whitestone Expressway. Is that the thing I get on? The Whitestone. I take the Whitestone. So you don't go on the highway right away. You make this turn on Northern Boulevard, take the streets a little bit, and then if there is traffic on the Whitestone, which there tends to be, especially afternoon games, though I don't know what I'd call this since it's 6 o'clock at night live as we record this, you get to at least skip the traffic. So that's my trick that I do. But great. And how about Max Craddock? I know it was a 5-0 game, but he looks really, really sharp, and I'm telling you, after what we saw in his debut when he came into that bases-loaded 1-out jam, I think Max Craddock will eventually enter the circle of trust. Right now, Mendy's using him to get 6 outs in games that are pretty well decided in a moment where he's trying to save his bullpen. Doesn't use Stanek, doesn't use Diaz. Obviously, the Mets play 6 straight days, so he's trying to be smart. But Craddock looks good, man. I think he's going to end up in some high-leverage situations. So great job by the Met bullpen, and it turns into a wonderful victory. Now, Jet, what was your favorite part of opening day?
Probably running.
Running. Yes, we ran to the train, made the train, ran from the train to get inside of Citi Field, and then we sat down in the 2nd inning of the game. Do you feel good about the way you tricked Brandon Tierney into giving you over $100?
Yeah.
Yes. He was very smart. BT offered him $100 to say that the Mets suck. And Jet thought about it because he really wanted the money and thought, how dumb is this? Why wouldn't I just take $100? They're just words.
I know
Hi. Oh, sorry about that. I guess we got knocked.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Rico Brogna podcast. It's amazing, isn't it? Make sure you download it now to keep it on you at all times.